Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the shop. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning, or evening, as I know many of my viewers are across the pond, as it were, to use a really old expression, I guess. Does anybody say that anymore? Is that a thing? I can't remember anybody that's like younger than my parents' age actually saying that. That wasn't, I guess, on the news, maybe? Either way. I'm a sucker for language-related shenanigans. A lot of expressions that come and go. One thing that I've always thought was really neat... Hey, morning, BJ. How you doing? But one thing that I've always thought was really neat was, like, ever since the term cool was sort of introduced to the English language, it has been timeless. Like, every generation picks up that term and uses it as if it's, like, current and modern. You know, like, other terms come and go, like, groovy is old. Solid is an expression people used to say. I mean, heck, it's even in Dragon Ball Z. It's like, people don't say that anymore, Gohan. But, so yeah, it's interesting that that expression on its own has... The cool has stuck around. I noticed this like probably 10 or 15 years ago, and I think people definitely still use it, still say it. Which is really interesting, you know, given the high turnover of words that are especially used to mean like that are synonymous with it. Need to bring back bodacious. Oh yeah, I'm down for that. Man, so like, I've got a book of old expressions that people used to use. I've got a couple actually, but one of them is called pop lollies and belly bonds, which is like, apparently different time frames, but each one of those words means boys and girls. Rather, like, I think pop lollies is boys and belly bonds is girls. It could be the other way around. But either way, it's just a book full of expressions that people just don't use anymore, like that are so far out of they're so far out of use that people don't even remember them as being words. But yeah, I'm all for bringing back bodacious. That's it. Next is bringing bodacious back. Yeah. What are you planning today? I am planning... So, last stream, I was working a little bit on making a pixel art portrait of a character of mine that I had for, you know, several years. Haven't played in a long time. Rip. But anyway, I was going to make a pixel art portrait of that character, and I started working on it, and it went okay. But I am not a portrait guy. Not something I've practiced extensively. However, I know somewhere where some really cool portraits are. And I ripped one straight from Final Fantasy. So I'm going to model my style after that, and hopefully learn something in the process. That is the plan, anyway. And once I'm satisfied, or tired, or too frustrated with that, I'll move on to finishing up an emote that we were working on that involves explosions. And wow, the tolerances on the shifting image of my character here are way too low. I'm just like twitching. Need to fix that. But we'll work on that some other time. I'm going to go ahead and jump right over to the canvas. And it's not live. Now it is. Right? Cool. So this is, for those of you who are not aware, this is Rydia from Final Fantasy IV. Or 2, as it was when I played it. Wow, yeah, hang on. This is really bothering me. I'm gonna have to... Can I? I can't. Nope, there's no filters on that. Ah, well, I'll fix it some other time. Just move my mic away from my face a little bit. Hopefully it sorts itself out. But yeah, this is Rydia from Final Fantasy IV, at least the portrait of her model in... Did I save that? Am I a dummy? Oops. Hopefully my There we go. I edited all my stuff this morning and forgot to actually save and update. So hopefully all my go lives and stuff were the correct correct things. But anyway, so here is this, which is shockingly small. I thought it would be bigger than this, to be honest. For reference, one thing that I did notice, I'm gonna open up this one. Let's see, where are you? Ah, that is strange. So I know for a fact that this particular image isn't correct, or at least it feels like it's not, because, see if I can find the one. It's none of those. Where are you? So I was looking at an image of the Final Fantasy IV. It was just a screenshot of the menu. And I noticed that the pixel size looks like it's a certain size when it's in fact not. Because it's none of those. Because of the fact that there were definitely pixels that were a quarter the size of what it appeared to be. And if I can find the picture, that'll make a whole lot more sense. I realize... Nope, it's not that one. I must have it in a different folder, which is unfortunate. But anyway, it looked like they were trying to draw with a certain resolution, but get the benefit of having some detail of a different resolution, which is really interesting to me, that they would do that. Is that it? That's the one. So, like, look at this. This is the thing. This is the image that this is supposed to be. But if you look at this guy. You see this? This is the size these pixels are actually. But if you notice, there's a lot more detail going on in here than there should be if this. Oh, wait, can I do the? Oh, I'm on the wrong. Yeah, it made it look like this is the pixel size, the way it's drawn. But in fact, it's not actually. This is the correct pixel size. So I feel like, I wonder if, does this one do the same thing? I'm looking at it and it looks like it doesn't. This is the child version of her portrait. But yeah, Tella does it too. Right in here in the shading. So it's really strange. And also this hand. This hand does the same sort of shenanigans. But I find that very odd. Because it looks like the resolution is is at a certain level when it's definitely not. It's definitely twice as dense. So, but this image does not look the same. And I don't know why. Either way, it looks like this image is not the same resolution as what this purports to be, or what this actually is, rather. Yeah, they're cheating. I agree. But I mean, it gives it a certain style of look, and you know, I'm okay with that. But it looks like it doesn't really matter that much for the purposes of what we're doing. I could probably upsize this a little bit, and it would work fine. And good morning to you, Mookie. Welcome. And good evening, rather, I should say. But so yeah, this is how they did theirs. And let me just up the opacity because I was going to use it as a background reference. A couple of things that I'm taking note of. The hair, outside of the border, right? Like ignoring the border for just a second, there are 3 colors used. There's this darker color, or this darkest color, which is kind of like a blue-gray color. There's the dark green, and then the light green. And the face looks like it's the same way. There's the brightest, well, there's the white, the bright of the skin tone, and then the dark of the skin tone, and that's it. It's essentially cell-shaded. Oh, yeah, sorry, Mookie, if you're just joining us, I didn't make this. This is cut from the Final Fantasy IV game. It's a sprite pull. But I didn't make this. I'm just using it as a reference to try and learn something. So compare this. I'm going to compare this to what I was doing the other day, which, again, basically the takeaway for me is 3 colors. 3 colors, and you got all this detail, and at a distance, it looks pretty good. Compare that to this. I have like 6 colors here, and it really hurts my eyes to look at this now. It hurts me to look at this because I'm like, ooh, ow, ooh, stop, please. Make it stop, go away. Because this just does not look as good. I've got a lot more shading going on. I've got a lot more colors in the face, but it's not nearly as interesting from an artistic standpoint. So what I wanted to do was kind of take this as a model to try and figure out how to make this look good. I agree. I think this is quite nice. If you're talking about this one, honestly, if I'm honest with myself, this is not terrible. It's just it looks very amateurish, especially by comparison to this. You can tell that this person had a drawing in front of them, like somebody drew this character and then they made it work in pixel art, rather than I'm gonna do pixel art and I'm gonna just make a face. Goodness, it's picking up every sound. That's part of my problem. I think my filters on my mic aren't working, and I don't know why. Let me turn the gain down just a little bit. Colors are kind of bland. Yeah, if you're talking about this one, I think they are. The striking differences between these colors makes a big difference, especially when you're reading it at this scale, right? Like, this looks way more detailed than it actually is at this scale. This looks like a blended, faded mess. So I think that is something that we can definitely take inspiration from. So, the thing I wanted to do, I'm going to make a new layer for this. The thing I wanted to do was take this girl rather, fade her out. And I don't want to, I've talked before about, when I was younger, I would trace Pokemon out of the original Nintendo Power Pokemon Guide. But I think that's a really good way to actually learn how to make things, or learn how to draw, because you learn certain techniques. So, but one thing that I'm going to start with here is this does sort of follow the same pattern of jawline, I guess, where it's really, really narrow on down to the chin. But one thing that's really interesting, and I should probably just make 2 so I can quickly reference these, and I think I will actually, is that her mouth, like, she's got one, right? Like, you're looking at it from here, it's like, oh, okay, there's her mouth and there's her nose. But then I zoom in and, like, her mouth is, like, literally 3 dots. How does this even work? How does this even make it, like, because it definitely does look correct, but I don't have any idea why it looks correct. It's really strange to me. I think my specialty is color theory. Yeah, I've taken some art classes, but color theory is, I have a very, very basic knowledge of it, of, like, how to make it work. How to use it, I guess I should say. Also, they're using this really dark color as like a shadow, which is really interesting. It's like they're using it as a shadow in the hair, but it also is used as more of a shadow for the face. But it does serve both purposes really well. And that's really amazing to me. Especially given how stark of a contrast going from this color to this other color to this color is. Like, these two look both green. If I was to look at this one in isolation, I would be like, okay, that's like a gray or whatever. But it does look like it works as shadows. She looks like she has mustaches. Well, so that's another thing. I think close up, you're not wrong. It does kind of look like she's got a little mustache going on from close up. But again, at a distance, it doesn't really look that way to me. And I think to a certain extent, the longer I look at it, the more it's gonna, be a little strange. But I think to a certain extent, with a certain aesthetic, we can still make this work, even with the idea that we're gonna be looking at this really close up. Because I can't draw in this style. This was obviously, like I was saying, drawn in a certain style outside of pixel art. This was drawn with a sort of, I don't know, anime-esque style back in the 80s? Maybe early 90s? From far away, it looks like she has a glossy upper lip. Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, that's like a little bit of a shine there in the middle of her lip. That's probably intentional. But given the way that this looks, I really do think that this was adapted from another style into, to work in a pixel art scenario. Another thing that I've been looking into recently is, if you're not familiar with CRT screens, which is, I can't actually remember what it stands for. No, cathode ray tube TVs. Basically, the way that they would put stuff on a screen is they would draw lines of light over, from one side of the screen to the other repeatedly, really fast, right? So your brain would be able to pick up the image, but if you slow it down, you'd literally see this line of light going across the screen where it's lighting up each pixel on the screen turn by turn. But one of the things that does is it gives everything a bit more of a hazy look. So if you're looking at this on a CRT TV, even if you're this close, it looks a lot fuzzier. Which, sounds bad on the surface of it, but it actually makes it blend really well. It makes it look like it's more painted than it does, blocks. All the blocks have softer edges. The shift between two different colors fades together. And they were accounting for that. That's the other thing. They definitely knew that was going to be an effect, and that's why this was able to work as well as it did, and work arguably better than it does on a screen like the one you're probably watching this on. Hey, Likely, welcome. Thanks for showing up, man. I apologize, my mic is a bit highly sensitive today for some odd reason. I have changed 0 settings, but apparently it's picking up all the little minute sounds in the background and causing my avatar to twitch out. So yeah, that's the plan. I want to take this and use this style to sort of improve my own artwork. Talking CRTs, yeah, talking about a monitor. Oh, I see. Oh, sorry, I'm reading chat now. I need to go now. Thanks for stopping by, Mookie. It's always good to see you. Still using a CRT monitor. Wow, really? I guess I kind of anticipated that they were. So I say that. I was about to say it's a little surprising to me, but I know that I was playing on the original Xbox all the way on a CRT television until the end of its life. Not really. It'd be good to test your theory. Luckily has one too. So I'm wondering now that I say that. So maybe I'm getting the expression or the terms wrong. Bye and good luck with the stream. Thanks, Mookie. Oh, and let me know when you're streaming as well. I'm looking forward to it, my man. But yeah, so you know what? Let's see if I can do this. CRT pixel art. No, I need a good. Here's one. We're gonna look at this. ABC. Cool. Alright, so let's do this. I'm gonna bring this image up so that you guys can see it. And this will explain what I'm talking about. Everything sounds alright. Good. I'm glad. Where are my pictures? I definitely saved this. I just saved this. Where are you? Wait, is it saved pictures? Nope, not that. Ah, well. So, I don't know why I can't find this. Let me just save it again. It's in sprite references. That's why. Okay. Cancel that. So, yeah, this is going to show you what I mean. There we go. So look at this for a second. The one on the right is the raw pixel art of it. The one on the left is with the scan lines going between the pixels. It is indeed Darkbug, and welcome. We're sitting here talking about CRT TVs, or monitors, I guess in some cases. But this is what the pixel art looks like over here on the right, the raw pixel art as done by the artist. However, you notice, you look at it on the left side, and it looks a lot more like it's been animated, like it's like somebody drew this. All of this detail, all these hard lines, I guess I should say, are blended out to a certain extent, right? They're softer. This looks more rounded and less blocky, which is a specific effect. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because this, I'm gonna make this smaller. This is from Final Fantasy IV, and I think that, you know, some of the weirdness that we were looking at with, you know, like her mouth looks really freaking weird. It would not look this way. You wouldn't even see it like this if you're looking at it on a CRT, which is what it was designed for. I think it still holds up, and I think a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for that, myself included, at least for the style, regardless of whether you're looking at it from a CRT or not. I really like the pixel art style, and I think that this is a good example of it, but I think that the original artist's intent was that this would be seen on a screen like this one, like these guys over here are doing. So, anyway, that explains a little bit of the weirdness, and it doesn't work in every instance, right? I've seen some pixel art where something modern somebody made, and also my thing is on the wrong side. Something modern that somebody made that was then added or had scan lines added to it, and it doesn't typically work as well to me. It doesn't look as good in a lot of ways, but a lot of the older stuff that was specifically designed with, you know, how it's going to look on a CRT in mind, that stuff looks really painterly, and that's really cool. And you know, these specific sprites included, I think, look really nice. It's the illusion of detail. Yeah, your brain fills in the gaps, which is what pixel art tends to do anyway. There's a lot of stuff that you know, just seeing a thing in miniature detail, like especially with these sprites, for example, your brain interprets a whole lot more detail than there actually is. I'm the wrong tool. You know, like this'll, if you're looking at it like this, especially if they give you reason to believe it, right? Like, this looks like it's some kind of a gem thing in her hair. So when you see it on this sprite, it doesn't look like it's just a little block of red in a field of green. You think, oh, that's the little gem that she's got in her hair. So, yeah. It tricks you into thinking that there's more detail than there is. And I think that, to a large degree, the CRT... Did I just show that behind everything else? I'm a dummy. Whoop. This is what I'm talking about over here. The gem here, and then the red splotch here. But yeah, I think that that's honestly really cool. So I'm gonna turn this guy off. We need you no longer, CRT reference image. You showed it the first time? Okay, sorry. I've got things open such that I can look at chat and see my own screen, but I can't actually see what's on the screen for you guys while I'm looking at my Aspirate program. But yeah, so point is, I want to make something in this style, which one of the things that is going to make me do, at least to start with, is I'm going to limit myself to this 3 color levels. I don't know if I want to use these exact colors, but I think doing that to start with wouldn't be the worst idea. So this is basically just white right here. It's not exactly white, but it's real close, so that's going to be that. Nope, that is not what I want to do. Give me that. Give me that. Add that to the pile. Give me that. So that's 3 colors for flesh, which is a whole lot less than the like 6 that I was working with up here. So we're gonna have to make it work. I mean, technically, I guess they've got this color too. So I don't know. I'm not actually making the same character, so I should be figuring this out a little differently. So if this is the 3rd color, and the hair that we're going for is actually red rather than green, if I could look down here at the, maybe make sure I'm showing this, yes, cool, the saturation and hue levels, I can start with this as a baseline. We got this really bright up here, like not quite at the top, but close to it. This is sort of at the midpoint, and then this one is desaturated as well as a little bit darker. But it's also, I mean, it's also blue. I guess I could shift over to a purple in the case of a red if I want to get that. So let's try this. Let's go from this level. We're just going to shift this guy over into the red. Add this color. Grab this one. Shift this over into the red as well. Now, interesting. I feel like this is not nearly as dark by comparison, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna see if we can make it work. And for this, I'm gonna shift this to a purple. Maybe a pink. Yeah. Let's go sort of a reddish purple. Might be the wrong choice, but we're gonna go with it. It's all color theory. It is. It really is, and I am not good at it. That's my only thing about it. I'm not great at color theory. I haven't studied color theory in over a decade. Color are crazy like that. They do be in fact crazy like that. Okay, so we're doing that to a red, and this is just white, so we're going to have that be that just fine. Copy that down to here. This is a good flesh tone. I want to kind of drift it a little bit more to the pink, I think. This one too. We're gonna try this. This is really close. It's a little bit darker. I might even shift this down to actually make it darker brightness-wise. But we're going to see if we can make this work. I'm going to use black instead of whatever this color is for the borders. But that's basically it, right? Yeah, they've got white. They've got what I'm using for black. That's 2. Then they've got 3 colors for the face, 3 colors for the hair. It's really not a lot. Alright, so let's see if we can kind of make this work. I'm not going to try and tilt the head sideways. I am going to try and copy this face style. And interestingly enough, the eyes are using the face color as well. That's really kind of cool, actually. Alright, so let's do this. Yeah, SNES had limits. I don't know if it's, like, I do know that they had a limit on the number of colors that they could display on screen at any one time. But I remember looking it up a few weeks ago, and if I recall correctly, they basically could display any color they wanted. It's just only a certain number of them on the same screen at the same time. So if you have a character like this, which is going to be on screen with everything else that you're ever going to put in the game, some of those limited, was it 256 color slots, are automatically taken up by, you know, whatever characters you have that might be there, which limits what else you can put on screen for your backgrounds. You know, if, what, 8, if 8 of your colors, and let's say, for example, that every single character you run into, which I think you could have 5, used a different 6 colors, because 6 for the face, 6 for the hair, and it's more than this, I'm sure, but let's say they use a different 6 colors from every other character, and then black and white. Was it 5 times 6 is 30, and then 32. That's 32 of your limited color palette already gone. That's a big chunk. So the palette was limited by the art style. Yeah, I think so. I think that you know, if you're, like I say, if you're limiting your game's color palette, you're already limited by the fact that you can only have 256 colors on screen at a time. And it might be more than this. I might be completely wrong, but the principle is the same. Whatever the number is, you cut the number of colors that you can have on screen down if you have something that's going to always potentially be on screen. Right? These colors have to be available for these characters because these characters might be on the screen. So, you know, was it 32, let's say? 32 of your palette options, let's say it is out of 256, are already gone. That's like, I'm not going to do the percentage of it, but it's more than, you know, what, like 15% or so of your color palette just automatically gone. You can't use that. That's set in stone. Everything else can change, but that is set in stone. That's not even accounting for the spell effects either, because the spell effects are going to be the same no matter where you're at in the game. Anyway, enough jaw-jacking from me. Also, her face goes all the way from the very bottom. Like, there's 1 pixel below her chin in this border, and it goes all the way to the top here. Also, let's not do this. Let's not do this on the same level. If I do that... I'll just have to take into consideration that her hair something like this. Interesting. And then I guess I can shrink it down a little bit too, because the top of her hair is going to come above the top of her head. At least a little bit. So that's probably close. Why the long face? Yeah. So it looks like, you know, her chin is obviously narrower than this. And then somewhere in here, looks like it's along here. And again, her face is tilted, so my proportions here are going to be a little bit different. Could probably do this. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's do this one. Come up like that. No, let's not do that, actually. At some point, like right here. Yeah, that'll work. And since we're basically just doing a symmetrical face here, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, and the top of her head should be a little bit wider. Heads are, when drawing them, heads are a bit more egg-shaped. Especially if you consider the fact that your chin is wider than the top of your, or narrower than the top of your head. For most people, anyway. Could probably narrow this down a little more if I wanted to and widen this up. I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's put a mirror tool on. That's about the middle. We're going to widen this up a little bit. This should probably be thusly. Yeah. I think this is probably fine for the angle we're going. Maybe she needs a little bit of a wider face. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to try and make it work. I think this is still within the parameters of what's going on over here. If we need to widen it out a little bit later, we can. Okay, so we've got black in the border. I'm going to go ahead and also I'm noticing that her border, she has one. She has an outline, but also that outline is used in like these pieces as part of the actual drawing. It's not just an outline, which is another thing that I'm trying to get better at. It's hard as a concept to get your head around that the border is not just a border. It's part of the character itself. Which in a lot of the stuff I do, it's just like, all right, I've drawn my character. Now I'm going to give him a border. Whereas in this, it's obviously worked into the character model. Okay, so since we've got the mirror tool on, let's go ahead and try and put the eyes in. And her eyes basically go all the way to the edge of her face, or at least the eyebrows do, which is interesting. Let's try bringing this up another step. There. We're going to go down like that. And again, these are at an angle, so it's a little bit hard to parse exactly how this should go. And again, the thing I'm really understanding here is that this person who made this sprite is an artist first. Like a traditional artist, I should say. They drew this, or somebody did. And then somebody converted it to pixel art. It didn't start as a pixel art, I think. I feel that, anyway. They are traditionally trained in a completely different style. Also, okay, right, so we're on the black here. Let's do... Oh, I am only 1 pixel wide. Or one, we are centered on a single pixel. Very interesting. Yeah, in my official art book, they based the sprites off of watercolor paintings. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Do you know, if you have the art book handy, do you know if was it Amano, I think was his name? Is he the guy that did all the artwork for 4? I don't know if he was the official artist or not at that point. Not gonna do that. I'm gonna have to put the part in the hair somewhere else. Yeah, I know. I can't remember his other name, but I do know that Amano was the. It's the wrong color. The artist for a lot of Final Fantasy, which to me is really weird. Like, he's a great artist. No shade thrown. He's a way better artist than I'll probably ever be. But man, I don't like his style. Like, the way he draws people is just like it's very ethereal, which is definitely a style, but it's definitely not my preferred. It's not my cup of tea, I'll put it that way. Alright, so her hair is coming down way over her face here. So I want to try and model this off the character that I'm trying to make. And so, let's try, if I recall correctly, yeah, I got the part of her hair on the side. Let's do that. Let's not mirror this, because it's asymmetric. It's not going to work exactly like this, but this is also like the top of the shade of her face / eyebrow. Mono did 4. Yeah, okay. Thought so. So yeah, he is the guy who did the thing. But yeah, his style, like watercolors, I didn't realize that, or maybe I knew that at one time, but it didn't occur to me. But, you know, yeah, so they're adapting a watercolor image to this, to pixel art, which is hella cool. But you definitely get a different feel if that's what you're doing, rather than Wait a minute. I see. We're gonna go ahead and color this all in. You get a different feel from that if you're, starting with a watercolor image. Good grief. Rather than starting with just, I'm gonna make a pixel art, and that it's a different. You definitely get a different feel, which is why concept art is a thing. Like, we're gonna start with traditional art that people are good at, and whatever the artist is capable in. And then we're gonna make that into our digital art, in a lot of more modern cases. Like we get the concept art first, and then we see what we can use and adapt that to our game. Looks like he was the main artist until Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that tracks. I think I'm trying to remember. I know that from 7 to 8, things got a lot more realistic in the character models. So I don't know what... I haven't seen the official art for 8. Or like the official... concept art. But it's really interesting to me that the style goes from Final Fantasy VII to be sort of a mix of the sprite-based character models where they're kind of big heads and small bodies. 7 got more anime-ish, cartoony. I was going to say, I think that they're actually, with 7, they move away from that in the character models anyway, because... look at this, for example. Look at Final Fantasy IV. This is very anime, and I think 6 wasn't much different if you look at the original art. Like, I think more modern releases of 8, or not 8, but 6, actually used a mono style, and it's very different. Like, I remember playing a version of 4 at some point and realizing that, hey, wait a minute, these character models are not... Because it was, like, more based on a mono's specific style. And became a more realistic look. But yeah, and that's like going into Final Fantasy VIII. All the character models are basically the same. You've got human proportions. Like, what is it? A human proportion is like normally 6 to 7, or like between 6 and 8 heads tall. Whereas a chibi style character, which is what most of the sprites use, like again, this character is like 2 1/4 heads tall. On this model, on this sprite. Kingdom Hearts guy style changed a lot. I like the Final Fantasy XII guy. Oh, yeah, so the other thing I was going to say was that going from 8 to 9, they went back. They went back to a more cutesy, I guess, kind of style. I'm not really sure how you'd label that. But yeah, I think that's a thing you can definitely notice pretty easily. The fact that the style changes pretty hard from 8 going back to 9, and then 10 was a bit more anime, I guess. While being still realistic human proportions to a large degree. Let's see. I'm gonna try and model this nose in basically the same way as they did here, which is really weird. No, that's not how that was. That's like that. There we go. Not gonna do the mouth the same way. But alright, let's see. Huh, I see. Somehow I've ended up with a much longer face. I think it's because I put the eyes too high. We can fix that, though, even though I'm not drawing on separate layers. Weird but cool, surreal anime look. You talking about for... You're not talking about for 10, are you? Or are you just talking about Amano's style in general? Because I feel like his... Like I said, he's got kind of a very ethereal, sort of perhaps surreal kind of look to it. 10 and up. Yeah. I mean, it's that whole thing of anime in 3D. It can be done to where it looks well, but I think for a long time we hadn't figured out what that was yet. Like the way that that's supposed to look. Mono has a weird look in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I totally agree. Like his style is very skillful. It's very good. However, I don't prefer it. I'm glad that they took his ideas and changed them. Oh, hey, thank you for the follow, Hen Yunji. Sorry if I got that incorrect, but thank you very much for following, and I apologize. My alerts are still not playing sound. If y'all hear them, let me know, but I'm not getting any of those noises, and I don't know why. Maybe that's why. I think I fixed it. Maybe I fixed it. Quick, somebody new follow. Check OBS. Yeah, I think I had one of the sounds muted because I didn't know what it was, but I think I've fixed it now. Hey! Thanks, Darkbug. Yeah, that was the problem. I fixed it. Also, it looks like somebody unfollowed. Sad Panda. But yeah, it's maybe I should mute this down a little bit. I don't know. Let's do just a little dot there and a little dot there. It was me to test it. Well, yeah, but with the other follow, my follower goal did not appear to have gone up, unless it just hasn't updated yet. I'm not that worried about it. But yeah, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I like to have a little bit of fanfare when people follow, and I was apparently having the problem of I turned that off on accident, like a doofus. Let's see, how can we make the eyes look correct? These are at an angle here on this reference. They're at a solid angle there, and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm just gonna put these here. Yeah, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. We're gonna use that. Follower goal has to be adjusted in Streamlabs. It's not very adaptive. So, I've actually got, for OBS, I've got mine set up to automatically update based on Twitch. Like, you have a, what do you call it? You have a link that you can put in, basically, for Twitch. And it auto-updates as your followers change. That's okay. I like that. I'm gonna keep that that way. Might even shine it up a bit, just because that's starting to look decent, actually. Me too, but it kind of sucks. Okay, yeah. Should this be like this? I think it should. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Interesting. Interesting that do be the way that do be. Nope. That. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, there we go. So now I don't know what to do with the mouth, or I don't know what to do about the mouth, I should say, because this is really weird. Like, maybe it'll work, but I don't want to copy it exactly. And also I am noticing, yes, her chin is way too wide. So we're going to fix that first before I try to go mess with anything else. I don't want her to have, like, exactly a V for a face. So if I do that... No, let's just slightly offset it, I guess. No, that's not gonna work. What is wrong with this picture? What is going on? I think maybe we do one of these. Nope. It's better the other way. That's gonna be good enough, I think, for now. Let's see if I drop this down, if that makes a difference. Of course, it means I have to drop this down, too. Nope. We're gonna go with this. Go with an odd number for the chin to give it a pointed look. Yeah, so it's either gonna be centered if it's odd or not centered if it's even. Which over here, she's got it's odd numbered, or it's even numbered, and it's off center, but also her face is tilted, so that's, you know, that's perfectly fine. That kind of works. I'm still not super in love with it, but it kind of works. Also, I'm gonna do, since I moved these up a little bit, yeah, there we go. I'm not in love with this design here. I might bring this all back down. Like, this looks better, but it's not the expression I wanted, but it does look better, I think. If I put that there instead. Maybe. It's a lot more stiff than this character is, for sure. I think it's also benefiting from the fact that this color is sort of adjacent to this color rather than being straight just a black. So I might want to modify that a little bit. I want to go back to my reference over here. This is where I pulled it from, but if I'm looking at this one, her border, which again, this is not the same sprite, but this darkest color for her is sort of a blue, whereas for Cecil down here, it's definitely closer to a red or black. Tella's probably the same way. Yeah, it's actually the same color there. That's interesting. So, in light of that, let's take the note here. This is not black. It's another shade down of a color we're already using. And so, let's go to this. Maybe this color needs to be edited, but we will find out. That does feel like it helps. The thing I feel like I want to do, honestly, is move all of this up. Wow, I feel like that looks better. I want to do this as well. Yeah, I think it's working. I think it's coming along. What if I did that, but then also brought this in a little bit? Probably needs to not be even on both sides if I were to do that, so let's leave that for now. We'll come back to it. I think we can get away with some stuff doing some shading here. Like, if I was to shade behind this down on the neck, or with the hair. Okay, so, given what we've done here, can I redo that and that be okay? No, that's too much. Yeah, that's... what about this? Actually, if I do that and just change this around, I feel like that might be a little bit better. Yeah, and again, at a distance, this already looks better than what I had. I mean, the skin tone is obviously different than what it is up here, but I'm making the skin tone anew. This up here is bothering me. A little bit. But I'm not really sure what to do about it exactly. We're gonna go with that for now. For the time being, anyway. Until we figure out the hair situation. Okay. So, we've only got these colors that we're working on here. But, if I take this, because I want her to have horns. If I put them, like, right here. I wonder... Does that kind of work? I think it does. We can mess around with this a little bit. But I think that kind of gets the point across. At least on that side. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Might even do this red in here. But we'll leave the red for the hair, actually. I want the part to be over here, so let's try to make that happen. I just made it with the mirror tool before, which means that this actually needs to come over a bit. No, I'm doing this the wrong way. It needs to go the other way. Because if I'm following the same model, the part is on her right, my left. So basically the exact opposite of what I was just doing. Be like right in here somewhere. Go ahead and erase this because I don't need it anymore. Let's try and do a horn over here too. Fill this in thusly. A little bit of this on the top of the horns. Maybe not quite so much. It's a work in progress, to be sure. Yeah, something like that, I think. We'll cut some of this back a little bit. We're gonna see how that ends up looking. I'm not hating it, which is a good sign. At least I think it's a good sign. It's definitely a highly cel-shaded kind of style. Alright, so now, what we haven't done yet is use the brightest red. I realize I can use in the eyes here if I want to. BRB gonna stretch. You know what? That's a good idea. I should do that too. I will be adding a stretch redeem as soon as I have redeems as a thing that I can do. So let me just fill this in with the dark red and then probably take a break. Because I have back problems, and I'm pretty sure they are exacerbated by sitting down all the time. So that's a not good. Should not be doing that. I kind of already feel like this is gonna want to be, or I'm going to want this to be darkened in back here. That said, the neck. Something like that, I think. Yeah, I kind of want to soften this up a little bit, so I'm wondering if maybe that... I think that's better. Rounds our face out a little bit more. And then all of this here can be shaded down a bit to make it look like it's actually part of her hair rather than part of her face. It's already starting to work. I feel like this is too bright. Too close to the flesh tone. So we may have to do something about that. Maybe, ooh, wait a minute. That's feeling like it kind of works. Nope, nope, that is what I wanted. How about this? Maybe that does need that. It's gonna take some work. Alright, so I'm gonna take a step back from this for a second, take a break, and we will be right back to it. See you in just a moment. Okay. Got some stretches in. Got some drinks. Got a drink, rather. Alright, so it's definitely obvious to me anyway that this is solidly like... This image over here is a lot more nuanced. But that's because this person is a better artist than I am. I think one thing that I can do to make this work a little bit better, perhaps, I feel like the eye needs to be moved down. This is going to look really weird for a second. But hopefully this works. And doesn't look like absolute garbage. Actually, let's use this color. I should have moved the whole eye. Whatever. Let's see. I think that this actually should be this way. But let's fill in this. Maybe this too. No, I just want to move this. Nope, let's not do that. Interesting. Interesting that this is working out the way that it is. Weird. Oh, wait a minute. I realize a thing that I just did. Or rather, haven't done. So she's got this solid line going all the way across underneath her eye. Oh no, I did do that because it was... Right. I, don't really need this shine, but I undid it because I ended up moving the eyes down. No, I'm gonna leave that. That came all the way up here, and this is like going all the way over to the side of the face and down. That's really weird. I don't know that I need to emulate it, but I'm putting it in here just to see how it looks. That's quite strange. Of course, I have the added disadvantage of these eyes are like 4 pixels tall, whereas these eyes are only like 3. I could solve that problem. Let's actually go back for a second before I move the eyes. Doop, doop. Copy that. Paste it over here for a second. Nope, I've already undone it. Oh, well, whatever. Ah, well. That is not what I wanted to do, but we're going to have this one for frame of reference. Then we're going to move all this down like we did a second ago. Let's do all of it. Grab it down to... Oh yeah, this should be fine. That one's all the same side. Grab it all the way down to there. Move this down a peg. And we'll put this all back in. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna fill this all in underneath here. Do that, and we'll do this too. Okay, so now that I've done that, I wanted to see if this looks better. Let's go ahead and fill in underneath the eye. Make the eye bigger, basically. And we're gonna fill in all this. Guess we'll have to do that too. It's really interesting. Do that. Okay, so that's... I'm not really in love with this. I think it's interesting. But I'm not really feeling it. I'm not thinking that it's working. Not really feeling like it's working, I should say, perhaps. Maybe put that in there. A lot of different ways this can look fine. It's all kind of a matter of what do you want it to look like, I guess. If I can even do that. She's got really pointy, really filled out lashes. That's not a thing I want to do, though. But it's interesting. It's interesting that there's a lot of different things that still look okay. I feel like I remember something about, like, something along the lines of... That's the wrong color. Like basically, you make something look more childlike, make the eyes bigger, and move them down the face. Just make the face smaller. Got to have read that somewhere. Which I feel like is what I've just done here. Like, I made her face smaller from the top of her eyebrows to her chin. It's probably an improvement in a lot of ways. That probably works a little bit better. There or there? One of these two is correct. I'll put it there. Okay, so now we've got this going on. Let's try and draw in some lighter parts of the hair. So the part is here. The darkest section should come up something like right in here, I guess. Which means that then my lighter color is going to branch out from that. Let's do the pencil. I don't like using the pencil very often, but we're going to see. Just sort of get a feel for where these can go. Probably along the top edge here. At least a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's kind of working. Okay, yes. I am liking this. Kind of going off using the... Oh, I'm still on the pencil. Kind of using the other image as a reference, like I said I was going to. Just sort of getting a feel for how do with these colors. Probably should be using the other side as a bit more of a reference since I'm using larger spacing here. We can do some of this too, where we have bits of the hair come out, I guess, away from the face, or oh, they're poking out. Her hair's a bit wild-ish. I think that's kind of okay. Doesn't look horrible. We're gonna go back and color in some bits here and there to make it really work. Cut this back in a little bit and then step it out. There. Something like that, I think. Again, we will be coming back in here with this darker color, the not the border color, and making it work. Making it look much better. Because given that we have 3 levels of highlighting, we should definitely be utilizing all of that. Okay, so now I'm thinking we're gonna draw this down a little bit more to cut this back. Maybe not that one. Yeah, let's do that. I think this is working. It's not perfect. Her face still looks a little bit weird, but she's supposed to look a little bit weird. I think one thing I ought to probably do is actually bring the face in some. Let's do this, bring that up. We're slowly having this take shape. I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna work okay. Fill this in here. I'm liking how this is turning out, actually. Yeah, right. We need to cut this down some. But we're going to use this. I like that this sort of puffs out here. fine there. Cut that. Yeah, okay. That looks pretty good. And it makes her face look a lot less pink. Yeah, okay, I don't need this one anymore. How about that? I mean, it's not perfect. It still needs quite a bit of work, but... Or it could be improved, I should say. It could be improved quite a bit, but I really like it, actually. I do believe that it has turned out quite a bit better than I was anticipating it to do. This over here. Yeah, that's probably fine. That's kind of working. I think her eyes are a bit too bright, though. Wow. Yeah, it's probably fine. Go with that. Yeah. Honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I think her skin is way too bright for what I originally wanted. But this looks fine. No. I really wanted to give her some like eyeshadow or something and be that. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Maybe not that. And we'll leave that there. Actually, now that this is the way that this is, I'm going to put that down. No, that was better the way before I messed it with it. Just kind of want to have a little like hair curl right here. And I don't know if this is working. That's probably fine. This should probably be more like that. We can undo this corner piece. Yeah. Okay, so now that I've done this, I kind of want to see what can I get away with, I guess. If I take these colors and bring them down multiple levels, just slightly darker. Okay, so let's do this. We're already not on contiguous. Do that. That's kind of a gray looking. Nope, those don't work at all. That looks very gray. So I think what I need to do... undo. Crud. Give me that back. Pick this color, unlock it. Shift it back more towards the red. This one. Shift it more towards the red. Lock these back so I don't mess up with them. Mess up anything. Maybe I'm onto something here. That's too red. Almost certainly. That's a bit better. Well, that's basically the same color. What am I doing? Let's go to that one. Okay, so we're up here. No, I think we do want it to be as bright as it can be. Jumping around on that. Oop, that's not what I wanted at all. So this is kind of a yellow. You can sort of play around with that a little bit, bring it over a bit. That might be what I'm trying to get at. No, that's kind of sickly. This is one of those things where, like, the more I look at it, the less I'm gonna like it. All right, nap time. Keep you on. I'm gonna nap time. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by and hanging out, too. It's always nice to see you in chat. Have a good nap. Yeah, so like if I take this color and just add it over here, and she still looks darker, which I think has something to do with the fact that she is more shaded, which I could fix that. Or I say fix that, I could change that, but I don't know that I want to, really. So I'm gonna go back down to this. Yeah, it's probably fine. I probably don't really need to mess with it too much. But yeah, I do like how this is coming out. I should probably go in and edit the outer edge of the hair a bit. Not like that, though. Not with that tool. There we go. Let me just look a bit more frazzled. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. Ooh, I just thought of an interesting thing I could do, but I think I'll hold off on. So again, the original character had some nifty hair pieces that like came down and were hanging over the eye, but I don't know at this resolution that I'd be able to really portray that in a useful manner, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I could put it in a way that would make it make any kind of sense. I think that's good. I'm gonna leave that out. Okay, cool. Pretty happy with this overall. Could probably sit here and, you know, futz around with it for the next several hours, but this does make me want to try a lot more things using a very limited set of colors, or at least having the idea that an image doesn't need a lot of colors to look correct, I guess, or a section of a piece, right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna undo that. That's not working. Like, instead of trying to have 12 different colors in gradient, I can do 3 and it looks fine. Definitely makes me want to have more, or try more stuff like this. Given that it looks like it was pretty effective in this case. Definitely turned out a whole lot better than the original that I was trying to work on, I'd say. I really dig that. I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna save this. And then I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna move back over to the thing I was working on last time. So let's go ahead and move this guy down. We're gonna finish this up. So we've got all this. I think this would fit in pretty well in the same styling. So it's definitely something to keep in mind as for future reference. And I'm gonna sit here and poke at it because that's just how I am. Yeah. Anyway, I could poke at this for the rest, the rest of the time. We're gonna, yeah, don't save any of that. Let's go ahead and open this guy back up. I think I'm mostly done here with this one. But a few things that I'm considering. Oh yes, one thing I wanted to check is, what if this, but double speed? Let's make it literally double the speed. It still works pretty well, I'd say. So I think Likely brought up that I could use this as a transition. And if I were to do that, I would need him to like show up on screen first. Yeah, make him show up on screen first. And then start doing all this shenanigans. And then it would fade out. And then I would need to fade back in from white where all of the other stuff is off. So, let's see if we can do that. Alright, so let's see. We're gonna say, this is already saved. Let's do... Yeah, I'm gonna keep editing it and we'll do a save as later on. Do another image. I need... That's probably enough. So we want no missiles in these first few. And then in these first 4, he's gonna end here. Ah, this might be really easy. I think I can just copy this side. Copy this. Actually, I don't even need to copy it. I can just... Yeah, okay. I'm gonna turn the background. Grab this, and we're just gonna erase this. That's not what I need. Yeah, okay. That is probably close enough. Let me go ahead and fill that in just a little bit here. And then, actually, we'll just erase all of these since we're going to be using this same model. And then we're going to select this whole guy. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 3. We'll do 3 at a time. And we're going to delete his bottom 3 pixels. And then back. And then this guy needs to be moved 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and his bottom 6 pixels. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. this is not going fast enough. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3, 6. All of that. So the way that this will end up playing... Yeah, well, let's... I'm gonna need more frames. More frames! Do I sound like a real gamer yet? I need more frames. Because that's obviously the problem. Why is it not deleting? I am on the wrong layer, that's why. I guess I should do it this way. Now that we have this guy. Make a new one. New layer, or new frame rather. Probably gonna end up deleting all of the you know, let's go even faster now. What was that 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one we'll just delete it all. So, the way that this will end up looking... Yeah, I think this needs to go faster. Which means I think I need to do all this over again. Gar, 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 gar. Okay, so given that, we're gonna do 5 frames at a time, or 5 levels at a time. This guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two, 3, 4, 5. Whoop. Did I just do the wrong one? I did. We can solve that problem real quick, though. There we are. Two, 3. Ah, that's way more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? That's okay, though. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta go ahead and go up to the next one, which means I need to drop this one more. And then we'll do another layer here, and there's nothing. So this should function. And now that I've moved everything, I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe instead of appearing out of the floor, it would be cooler if he was moving, like apparating. So like, not that. Can I shift this? Yeah, okay. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Yeah. Put it up there somewhere. Down one. Down one more. Okay, yeah. Whoop. There we go. So now it'll look like he's appearing from thin air. Which I don't know if that's better, actually. However, I could do a thing. I have an idea. Let's do this. Since this is our missiles layer, we're using that color. 2 down, 2 down. You know what? Let's do this. Let's copy this whole thing. Copy that. Come over here. And paste this. Center it-ish. Then we're going to squeeze it. Okay. I'm going to spin it a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, so we've got this. Let's edit this down a little bit. I'm going to turn the background off. Gonna have this thing spinning. That should probably be fine. Yeah. It's kind of a spinny disc looking deal. So now, with this, we've got this and it's going to appear here. I want to copy this. We're going to move it. Ooh, actually, wait a minute. Might need another layer back here. So that it can look like he's coming out in front of it. Coming out of it, if that makes any sense. Not that. I want this image. Yeah, it was a cool idea. I don't think it's going to work the way I intended it to. I need a completely different image, and it needs to be on top. We're just going to delete all this. Delete this whole thing. Delete layer. There we go. So I was having this cool idea, I think, for like an energy portal thing appearing and him, it like running down the length of his body as he appears out of it. I think that'd be kind of cool. Can I execute on that idea though? Let's send this back to normal speed. Probably takes way too long. Let's just delete some of these, like every other frame here. Yep, and I made an alteration which I do not appreciate. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna fix it. So here, we had this filled in. And it's pretty obvious to me anyway that it fills in at the end because the other... Yeah, here it's filled in. And I had removed it on these, so let's not... I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the showing up like that. Because there's a lot of ways I could do it. He could slide in from the side. He could appear as he is now. He could do the slide up thing that I had him doing a second ago. Let's at least try to do kind of an appearance. Let's see. You know what? No, we can do this. We can do more of a yellowed kind of coloration. So there's that. We'll copy it. Actually, we'll copy it. And then here, it will have to expand in 2 directions. That's too much. That looks better, though. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Maybe even extend this out a bit further. Copy this over. Uh-oh. Did I really do that? I did, didn't I? Because the background is on. Fill those back in here. Go out even one more. Fill this back in. Not like that. Right? No, I've uncentered that. Okay, yeah. Even to there. I think it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Not like that. Bring this up one more here, there. Nope. Fade that in thusly, and we'll go even a step further down. Cool. And then we will copy this again as we were. Ooh, actually, no. No. We don't want that one. We want this one. But we're going to darken it. So we're going to come back to this guy. Alright, let's see how that looks. Okay, I want one frame of him standing there like this. Frame. But then this one. Nope, not that. Here. This frame here. Oh wow, I did have another color in there. Oops. We can have like 3 or 4 of those. Yeah. Cool. Now I can get rid of this. This will look like it's sort of fading out at his feet. Maybe even another one where we just sort of shrink it down. Yeah. I think that looks all right. That does the trick. That does what I wanted it to do. Zoom. Blam. Cool. Yeah, okay. So this is going way too fast. Or rather, not fast enough, I should say. I wonder... Okay, so I saved this, but now let's save as a new thing. Actually, no, that is where I want to put that. We're going to make this a transition. We've saved a new file. Now we can mess around with things to make it fit the right speed. So one thing that I should do is have it be... It is currently what size? The canvas size is 100 by 100, which means if I up it by 1,000, that's like times 10. That'd be 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. No. Yes. Which wouldn't really be big enough for a transition because I'm looking at a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So, what I can do is make the width 160 and the height 90. Nope, not 50, 60. And the height 90. Let's see how that messes with stuff. Okay, yeah, that works fine. The only problem is that on these frames where this happens, that's cool, that's cool. You do get this weird border here, so these need to be edited. And obviously these four need to be... We're gonna delete those, we're gonna fill that in all the way out on each of these. These three each need to be modified. So one thing I'm kind of tempted to do, since we're modifying these anyway, all the way to that one. Start here. We'll go to, yeah, we're on layer 5. That's one color, that's our other color. We'll go to the gradient, no dithering, centered. See how this looks. Kind of wanted to start here. Ah, right, that's not going to work because I need this to be very faded. Interesting that that is working that way. You know, that's exactly the opposite of what I want. Ah, I see. That's why that did that way. Really weird. Okay, okay. So I think that what I did last time was this. Yeah, I had the white fade to the mask. Which is probably what I need to do here. What if I do blue fading to the mask? That's not gonna be nearly as cool. Okay, yeah, we're gonna commit to this. Not that though. Or that. There. There. That should still work. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work as a transition or not. I think I'm going to cut this last frame. Probably cut the first frame too. It's probably not necessary. Definitely don't need the background. Okay, so say this is our transition. Let's go ahead and try and export this at 1000%. It's not going to be exactly the same. And I'm going to put this down as my transition and see if I can make it work. Properties. Does this even function? Let's do the transition point a little later at like 2000. Preview it. Okay, 2500 it is. Oops. Preview. $3,500. Okay, I think this is gonna work. Yeah, okay. So here, alright, let's see if this functions the way I anticipate it working. And we transition. That's a really long transition. It's funny. I need to cut it down, but it's still fun and I like it. It's way too fast or way too slow. So let's try this. Let's just speed it up and see if I can actually export it that way. Because I had done this before, where I had a transition, or rather, where I had a file that I had sped up the frames in the file, and then when I saved it to a GIF, it didn't feel like it made any difference. So let's try doing this again. Yes, do the things. Okay, we're gonna go back to the canvas, see if this actually updated and goes faster now. Ah, so it did go faster, but I forgot to change the thing. It might be too fast. Let's try 70. Yeah, we'll do 65. So it does look like it actually makes a difference, though, which is good. Of course, now I need to change the thing. All right, and we transition. Okay, so my transition timing is off, but otherwise it works. Let's go back to 2000. That's about right. 2200. That might work. All right, and one more time, we're gonna go back to the canvas. Okay, timing's a little bit off, but I think I'm happy with it. I'm pretty stoked about that. That's cool. There's no sound effect to go with it either, which I'll need to take it into Blender or something and add a sound effect. But I'm really happy with this. I don't know if I want to use it or not. I don't know if I like this more than the original that I have been using, which I spent, you know, probably like 15 to 20 hours working on, because I had to learn Blender in the process and then make it. But, you know, I'm pretty stoked. It needs some work. Let's go back to the shop. Yeah, I feel like it needs to be more stuff going on at the end than the beginning, because it's just a whole lot of waiting for him to do the thing, waiting for him to do the thing, and then he does the thing, but it's over real fast. Need more lingering on the exciting bit. Either way, I think that's probably gonna do it for me today. I'm really happy with what we got done today. I'm pretty pleased with the the results of my attempt at mimicking the style of Final Fantasy IV pixel art to make a character. I think it worked out pretty well. You know, I still have a lot of stuff to learn about, like, making the character's head turn, or just, you know, making the pose, I guess, a little bit more interesting. And, you know, expressions are not my strong suit yet. But overall, still pretty good, I think. Still pretty happy with it. Anyway, like I said, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for the new follow. I have your name right here. I won't necessarily call you out, Hanunji. But thank you for your follow today. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope everybody did. Have a good time hanging out, checking out the pixel art, and jamming out to some tunes. Everything is a constantly ongoing, evolving process. The shop will be updated. If you're interested in pixel art and hanging out with some other pixel artists and animators and some streamers, I have a Discord that you are welcome to come and join. Just come on in and tell me what your name is. If you're coming from Twitch, otherwise just, you know, tell me how you found me, and we'll get you approved. I'm doing a manual approval process because I'm scared of bots and I don't want that to happen, or I don't want to get botted. But it's a fun time. Come hang out. YouTube is all of my Twitch VODs right now are stored over on YouTube, so that's a thing. You can go and check them out there. I'm planning on making YouTube videos. I'm really slow about it, but I have a YouTube channel, so if you're interested in following me and seeing if anything happens over there, when things happen over there, I mean, I have YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm a lot more active there. It's usually I end up posting artwork that I've either worked on stream or offline. I also have a Ko-fi page if you're interested in checking that out, because that's where I'm storing all of my artwork. I'm planning on setting up an Instagram, but Instagram, not gonna lie, kind of scares me because I see a lot of NFT artists or NFT stuff there, and I don't want to get my art stolen, because that's a thing that keeps happening with people. I'm not typically, so far anyway, I've figured out I'm not big enough and popular enough for people to target me for making NFTs out of my stuff, but it's a thing that happens, and it's a concern I have. But either way, Instagram is a place where I'm at. But Ko-fi is where I'm mostly using as my art gallery right now. So anyway, thank you all for joining, and I will see you next time, and until I do, stay safe out there.